My presentation is about that it was not genocide. Why it wasn't genocide? To start, the Turks were just defending themselves and their rights. The Armenians had always been very rude and disrespectful to the Turkish people and their religion and way of life, so the Turks were always afraid of them. The Turks never did anything to make them mad, so they didn't, the Armenians, and so the Turks never understood why they hated them, and finally the karma got back at the Armenians. Continued, honestly, the main cause of death to the Armenians was not the Turks' fault. All the Armenians died from exposure, starvation, and dehydration. The Turks never intended to have this many people die, they just wanted the Armenians to pay for what they did. And that's a picture of one of her children dying. Genocide. The word genocide was not even created until over 20 years after this had happened. And for people just to agree with only hearing the Armenian side, it's not really fair, because if they knew what the Armenians had been doing to the Turks, it would be completely different. Also, it's kind of crazy to say that it was genocide when the term genocide wasn't even created until so many years after the incident had happened. What will happen if you vote no? The U.S. will, the Turks will purchase more arms from the U.S. They'll send more supplies to the U.S. bases when fighting against ISIS. Support U.S. when Syria sends airstrikes, and the U.S. really needs their base in Turkey, because that's how we fight against ISIS. What will happen if you vote yes on H.R. 106? The Turks will withdraw their ambassador from the U.S. They'll have boycotts against the United States. They'll kick out all military personnel, and they'll take out all the U.S. arms and supplies from Turkey. The U.S. wouldn't have a base there anymore. For your country's sake, it was not genocide. You must look at all the facts on both sides. The United States needs our military base in Turkey because we have to fight ISIS. You need to put yourself in the Turks' shoes. If somebody was being really disrespectful to your country and not letting you live free and just not liking your beliefs, then it wouldn't be very fair for you to let them have it. You should be able to defend yourself. Put yourself in the Turkish people's shoes. Do what's right for your country. And that's their flags. And that's my works cited.
Okay, we're going to ask you questions.
Okay.
Because the audience asked you guys questions. So I'll let you guys go first. Pretend you're an audience member who knew nothing about this. There's the first presentation you just saw. What questions come to mind? Okay, I'll ask the first one.
I'm a quiet one.
Those are no fun to have in your audience. Okay, so you said
Good voter.
early on that basically the Turks were just trying to defend themselves and that the Armenians had betrayed them before.
Yeah.
Could you explain a little bit or like give us some background on what exactly you mean by that?
Well, the Armenians, they were always horrible people to the Turks, and they didn't respect their way of life and their beliefs and their religion. And the Turks never understood why, so.
Okay, so you bring up religion. Is that a factor in this whole issue?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, it's kind of, if you could compare it to like our religion or like Christian and Muslim, if some have beliefs that you don't approve of, then you might just go ahead and really hate them instead of actually finding out their beliefs and comparing it to one of your own. So theirs are different, but...
So in the context of this time period, which group was which religion, the Turks versus the Armenians?
The Armenians were Muslim, no, Christian, and the Turks were Muslim.
Do you think that might be part of the reason for the bad blood between the two?
Yeah, because they're so different.
Question from you guys? No? Does lunch count?
Skipper, you got a question?